Welcome to another episode of Into the Mind of a Madman with your host, me, the Madman. Thank you for being with me. Alright, today I want to talk about politics. Here in America, the black man has never gotten a fair shake. The black man, the black woman, the black child, the black community as a whole, right? The white man brought us over from Africa, had us as slaves. We worked the fields, we built the nation. The whole thing is built off of the black man's back, the immigrant nation working hard, right? The white man's in control. Cool. The Americans fight for their independence from England, win the war, got your independence. Now it's time to make a constitution, make rules of the land, right? The law of the land. We were 3/5 of man coming forward. We get the right to vote, equality, civil rights movements. And then we're here today, right? Still fighting oppression, even though it may not be as overt, it's very much systematic. It's very much covert. And to me, that all stems from we live in the same place where we were oppressed, right? In the sense, a lot of people like to say, like they like to bring up Jewish people in the Holocaust in somewhat comparison. And I hate that comparison because we're mainly comparing the Jewish people who live in America not under the same regime that was their oppressor, in a sense. You get what I'm saying? Us as black people, we live here in America. Even though the white man said, okay, at this point, we don't want no more slaves, or y'all fought for your freedom, or however y'all want to put it. However the history books say. We still live under the oppressor. We still live under the people who look down upon us at some point. So even though the laws may have freed us, the lessons being passed down to the child, which is then passed down to the lineage of, children to come, the hate is still there. The level of hypocrisy, the level of ignorance, it travels throughout the lineage, right? And we're a community, we are a black community trying to make it in a world which was set against us. Right? And it continues to be set against us because just because the laws don't say it, we still can live it, We still can live the way we want. And for example, if I oppress someone else, but they still living under my roof, even though I stop oppressing them, I can do, legally, I may not be able to oppress you, but I can still, I still control the jobs. I still control the money flow. I control how much I could pay you. I control the position you get. And then I'm not going to pass it on to you. I'm going to pass it on to my kids. And I'm instilling them that you keep this in the family and they're lesser than you. And, it's a big thing. I think that might be a whole nother episode, but I like to give a little bit of understanding to where I'm going with it, right? And it's kind of like, it's what it is. But all right, we live up under the same thing. All right, so we figure now 2020 is election time, and for as long as I've been an adult able to vote, there's always been, it goes back to since a kid, but there's always been a sense of, should you vote, should you not vote, does voting even work, and all of this. I'm a believer in, I believe in two things, right? I believe in either there will be war, like we physically, as a community, as an oppressed people, immigrants, whatever the minority is, we get together, civil war, have a war to take over, overthrow the government, and start the whole thing over, right? That's in my heart. That's what I believe. To fully correct this situation, there has to be bloodshed, there has to be an overthrow, right? And then we start the whole thing over. That's what I believe. Now, do I think that's going to happen? No. So, we write that off in the books, right? Second thing that I do believe is you should vote. The reason I'm going to go with voting, because if we're not going to do the first one, if we're not going to go to war, we might as well vote because we are in a society, a democratic society, which the rules are set up to vote for your rights, to vote for what you believe in, who you believe in, if you want to make a change, you have to vote, right? I solely do not believe, not solely, hold on, that's the wrong road. I definitely do not believe in doing nothing. That's the dumbest thing to me. We sit around on these blogs, on these podcasts, with our homies, with our friends and family members, with our co-workers, and we talk all of these things about how wrong life is, but nobody's ever willing to do anything about it. And they're just talking about it, and then go, voting don't work, and this and that. And even if you vote, you're not electing it because there's a electoral college who actually decides. Cool, I understand all that, but if you're sitting around just talking about it, it's pointless. That's just how I look at you. You ain't gonna go to war. You're not gonna vote. You're gonna sit around, talk about it. You're just gonna die the same way you living. That's just how I'm looking at it. So I do not believe in not voting. I believe in voting. Do I believe voting works? Yes. I do believe in democracy. I do believe that the American voting system works. The reason I believe is because the people who have the money pay the politicians, pay the people who are in charge of voting for things and bills and laws. They pay them. We call them lobbyists. We call them fundraisers. We call them anything that's not legal, right? You call them my friend. We call them supporters, right? Of that nature. Everything, whatever you want to call them, they grease the hands and the pockets of these politicians, like of the actual person, and the lawmakers, and they get things done. We see it daily. As a black community, we have to stop relying on people who are not of the community to fix the community. We have to stop relying on the one black man who wants to be in politics and you think he's going to change the world. He's not going to change the world, because once he get into these boardrooms where there are hundreds of other white politicians and he sees the game that's being played, eventually he has to play the game to get what he needs to get done. So he can stand by his word, but he still has to join the game, right? He has no backing from the community. The little backing that he does is us coming out to the the town hall meetings. It's not enough. We need the town hall meetings. We need the money to back him. We need a whole lot. We just can't rely off him and hoping he changes the system just because he's smart and just because he's black and just because he said he's riding with us. It's way more than his smarts. You see who we got for president. So it's way more than just smarts. All right. Cool. I knocked all that out. I don't want to talk about all that. I knocked all that out to say I'm here to talk about how do we actually do it, my point of view, right? My point of view on that is we need to start at a ground level as a black community, urban community, as a foreign community, as a minority community. When I mean foreign, I mean like people who come from other places and legally they want the rights and they want to whatever, you know. So as a black community, I believe we need to groom our politicians. And what I mean by grooming is not pick a baby and go, when you grow up, you're going to be this way. We can start doing that. Cool. Like, we can do that. But what I'm saying is, politics are specialized fields, right? Well, everything in life is like specialized field, right? A lot of things in life are specialized fields. A lot of people don't want the politics. Their brain can't function like that, right? So what I believe we have to do is start at a high school level or a grade school, whatever school or whatever. We got to start in the high schools, the grade schools, as far as when we see kids in our local high schools who are running for a class treasurer, they're running for a class president, they're running for class secretary, senior vice president, senior president, all of these particular things in our local communities. We have to take those kids because they see they have an interest in it or a passion in it. We have to take them and groom them, mold them, provide the finances for as schooling, like tuition, and we have to stick on them and we have to groom them for as community issues that we have to put them in position to go to college and then become politicians. You know, let me say this. I believe in voting locally, right? Because we need to know who our District 5 judge is, our District 23 finance person is, or, you know, all of the districts on the off years that there is no president being voted for, you have to vote. There's voting every year. I think to my knowledge, it's about twice a year. It's like a vote in like early in the year and then in November. But voting goes on more than just the once every 4 years for the president. Just so people could understand. Now, like I said, we have to groom these people to become local politicians. Say the local high school, the kid is the president of his class. Cool, we take that kid, we take the vice president, we take all of them and go, listen, we're going to show you around the community, or this is your community, you should know it. We going to introduce you to who owns these businesses. It's like when they're in high school, they need to be in a sense, an internship of the community leaders. You know what I'm saying? So once they get to college and we pay for their college, we pay for their education, and then we continue it on into the actual field of being a politician, then they know us, we know them, we're teaching them what we want for our community. So when they're now in that position, they can do for the community. It's gonna be a trickle-down effect, right? Every year the president writes off some type of number bill to help out the community, and it goes down to the Senate or the House of Representatives, it goes down to the states, and they go mayors and all of these things, and by the time it get to your district community, it's about $20,000, and he got to figure out if he wanted to go to the local high school or fix the potholes in the street. Get what I'm saying? By the time it get broken down all the way down, it ain't really nothing left. You know what I'm saying? So what we got to start doing is put these particular kids that we groomed into the districts, into the communities, and then those particular kids, the next set of kids, we need to start putting them in the Senate or the mayor position, the judge position. We have to start grooming in our community. We don't do any grooming in our community. There are several people who, when people hear grooming, right? Like I said, people just think like there's only certain, like you can't force them. You're not forcing people into doing anything. There are mechanics who own shops who bring their kids to the shop, teach them how to change tires, change carburetors. They've been doing this since they were 8, 12, 15. They intern them in the shop, then they start paying them when they're 16, but they grow up, go off and do whatever they want to do. Don't have nothing to do with mechanics, but they know how to do that because their father taught them all their life. Get what I'm saying? That's what we need to start doing. Even if they don't want to do that, we have to start grooming politicians. Everybody wants to be a rapper. Everybody wants to be a basketball player, some type of entertainer. That's cool. Have no problem with that. You know, we got a couple doctors, lawyers, truck drivers, you know me. But what I'm saying is, all that's cool, but where's the politicians at? How many of us know politicians? Like, could be like, yo, I grew up with that dude. That's homie from such and such, or that's my man. Like, how many of us have that? And it's the only way we gonna come up out this, you know. It's the only way, because we can't rely on the people we have in office now to, even when we throw our little bit of dollars at them, to change how their perspective is. You get what I'm saying? So we take somebody who's been in politics for 50 years and say we came and threw $1 billion at them. That'd be cool. They probably do some stuff for us, but they're still not in tune with the community. So they could only do so much. They could only do what is morally right, in a sense. You know what I'm saying? You throw money at them, they go, all right, cool, I got you. They get the position, they gonna have you, but they can only do what's morally right because they're not in tune with the people. You get what I'm saying? But somebody who we groom and he or she grew up in this, so they can do more than what's morally right. They know what to do because they've been in it. They've been in this position. You get what I'm saying? So we have to start grooming them, you know. And then, like I said, voting locally. And then I figure 15, 20 years, 10 years from now, once we started getting the groove of, okay, because you figure, yeah, once we get in the groove of grooming who we want, they start to get in position, then we vote for them. You get what I'm saying? They get in the position, then they start getting in there, the offices, working, figure out the system of how it works, and then passing that back on. Now they are in it now, right? So then they get to pass that back on to the other people who are being groomed after them. So now when they get in the district office, they pass it to the next high school kids that the community is grooming, that they know is not necessarily going to be their successor, but going to be their next. You know what I'm saying? Then you have the first set of groomed politicians from the community. They'll be in the door. Then they'll be there a year. Then the next set get in the door. Then it becomes a cumulative. You know what I'm saying? But once they're in the door, the people we groom can now pass the info back from how it's working there. Now we can start adjusting to that. You get what I'm saying? And then once we get enough in, then we can start taking over. We take over local. Then we take over state. Then we take over the federal. You get what I'm saying? But we can't expect the people who are already there to do it. We have to start from the bottom. We have to start from the ground floor. Like I said, I know there's plenty of black people who's been through the struggle. They became politicians. But they have been indoctrinated by the men. Like they've been in the game, so it's like they're done. Like that's just what they are. They may have had to conform to the system already in some which way. We have to start fresh. We have to start as a community, because the first one who has the actual community backing and who has the actually, I'm the one who actually put this into them. Then you say, I'm the one who gave them this, and then the other, you know what I'm saying? It's a different person than the person who's already in there. I'm already set. You know what I'm saying? I'm 35 now. I'm already set I'm talking about in my ways of thinking. So yes, somebody could come talk to me and whatever, but I'm gonna kind of move how I'm gonna move. These children, they are the future. We could mold them, we could breed them into being what we want, and it's like I said, it's a support of being there. It's a financial support. Is a moral support. And we have to have this as a community if we want anything to change. Now, there will, like I said, I'm pretty sure once we come together and start moving this way, that there will be some type of get back, like the other, the white side is gonna see it and be like, oh, hold on. but we're gonna have to push through. We're gonna have to work through that. And some of this comes with, you know, in a sense, I want to say the schooling they need to go to. I'm. I know I got some people out there. I personally not the biggest believer of HBCUs. I'm not the biggest believer of just traditional college, right? We gonna have to have groom people who go to both, you know what I'm saying? Because the traditional college, we are being taught by the white man about white politics, which we do need, because we need that insight of how they working it, and that's what the workforce is. But we also need the HBCUs who are teaching the black kids how to move from a kind of black perspective within the white society, and we need both. And we just gonna we have to groom a lot, bro, and we gonna have to split them up. You go here, one go to Harvard, one go to Winston-Salem State, one go to Princeton, one go to Howard. You know, we gonna have to do this on all fronts and then make it come together, because we don't want them all to be like, they all went to Harvard, because in a sense, to me, they will all kind of start reverting to that way of life. But they need to know that side. You get what I'm saying? Just to know how to pass it back on, like I said. And we don't need to be all black. You know what I'm saying? Because we still dealing within the white man's world. So, I mean, I'm with both. I don't know, that's something that came to my mind just now. So, it's like, I mean, I hope y'all understand or read or got to look at The Spook Who Sat by the Door. You know, pretty much, if you didn't, it's a book, it's a movie about a black man who pretty much went into like the white man's military or whatever and learned the white man's outlook on things and how he determines certain things, right? Like military style of combat and all of these particular things he learned from the white man. He went back home and took those same values and principles and lessons to his community and made like this strong army against the white man using his own tactics. So it's, you know, The Spook Who Sat by the Door. That's like, you know, pretty much the name is like, I'm in the classroom, but I'm off to the side because, you know, I'm black, but I'm still in the classroom. So I'm still learning. But that's pretty much kind of how I look at the whole college situation of it. But we have to start grabbing the kids. We got to start grabbing the kids. And like I said, all of this, no voting don't work, not doing nothing, just talking with the homies, that's the dumbest thing to me. That's just my opinion. And I thank you for listening to me.